What is going on, everybody? Welcome to today's Locks DFS MLB breakdown video for this Monday 9-game MLB slate. Going to be running through some of my top pitching and hitting options. But before we do that, I wanted to make sure to give away the free season pass we promise to give you guys every single Monday. And this week's winner, I guess, is Mark Moffitt. He commented on quite a few of the videos last week. We really appreciate it. That helps us out a lot. Be sure, if you haven't already, to comment and subscribe on these videos. You have a chance to win a free season pass from Locks DFS. And Mark, be sure to DM us on Twitter at Locks DFS, or you can DM me at ByHardy on Twitter. Either way, or you can shoot us an email, locksdfs@gmail.com, if you don't have a Twitter. With that said, again, be sure to comment, subscribe. You have a chance to win that free season pass. And also, if you don't have a pass yet, be sure to check us out. We want to make you guys better DFS players. That's why we make these videos. You'll be getting, basically, with our pass, you'll be getting a lock sheet, which go through our locks on every single slate. 3 on each site, as well as ranking our players A, B, C, D in terms of grades, giving you guys who's a cash play, who's a value play, who's a GVP play, kind of what we think about the players and why we like them, as well as their matchups. Going through all that on the lock sheet, as well as our top stacks and the stats that I use every day to go through the slates in terms of like umpire data, bullpen data, recent batter hitter data, as well as pitcher data. All that kind of stuff is in the first look, and as well as our top stack. So be sure to check us out. I think it'll really help you guys become better players, as well as getting onto our Slack chat and asking us questions about any slate, any questions you guys might have. Always get answered in Slack. So be sure to check us out, locksdfs.com. And with all that said, let's get right into this slate. I said it's a 9-game slate, but these two top games at the top are going to be kind of hard to target, just because I'm pretty sure this Phillies game is not going to be able to play. It looks like it's going to be storming in Philadelphia all day, or at least all night. I'm not sure they'll be able to get that game in. I do really love these Philly prices if the game does play. Taylor Clark, not a strikeout pitcher, giving up a ton of hard contact this year. And even on the Diamondback side, the lefties are definitely interesting for me against Eichhoff, who's giving up a ton of hard contact to lefties this year. That said, I don't think it's going to play, so we're going to ignore it. And also in the Yankees game, not only are the bats a little bit interesting against Jason Vargas in a really good park, but Tanaka at 7.9K coming off the paternity list against a team that strikes out a lot, he'd be interesting as well. That said, he'd be interesting at SB2 as well. I'm not going to be talking about either of those two spots, just because I'm not sure either are going to play. Even Tanaka, that game might be able to play through some rain. We'll get a better idea closer to lock. But right now, I'm just a spot I'm going to be ignoring. And with those two games off the slate, I think the pitching options are going to be really, really condensed. And the top option is going to be Chris Sale right here at 10.9K on DraftKings. Chris Sale is just dominant, and he gets a really good matchup here against the Rangers. 3.1 team total. He's a minus 233 favorite at home. He's going to be facing a bunch of lefties in this lineup, and even the righties he's going to face, not too scared of outside of Anderson, Pence. DeShields doesn't add a ton of power. Forsythe doesn't add a ton of power. Cabrera is much, much worse against lefties. Doesn't add any power, adds worse contact, strikes out more. So Sale makes a lot of sense here. His 14% swinging strike rate this season. He's also got a 2.77 xFIP to lefties, 3.09 to righties. He's striking out righties at a 13% clip, lefties at a 10.8% clip, or 13.1 per 9 and 10.8 per 9 to lefties. So he's giving up a little bit more hard contact this year to righties, but nothing too concerning, especially, as I said, considering the righties in that lineup. The only one that you're really scared of for power is going to be Pence, and Andrews does have a good amount of power versus lefties as well. But Sale is someone that, in this matchup, you just pretty much plug and play, especially considering, on the season, the Rangers have the 4th highest K rate versus lefties at 26.4%, and a WRC plus at only 86 on the year versus lefty. So very, very good spot for Sale. I think the price is more than fair at 10.9K. He is the clear SB1 on this slate. I think the ownership is going to say I wouldn't be getting off him in tournaments. So I think there's no reason to try to leverage that. Definitely be matching the field, at least on him. So the clear SB1 option is going to be Chris Sale. SP2 gets a little more complicated with Tanaka likely off the slate. The guy I'm probably looking at is going to be Michael Wacha at 6K. I just think there's not a lot of really good spots on the slate for pitching. I think Morton is a fine option at 9.9K. The A's strike out a decent amount, and he is going to be facing a lot of righties in this lineup, which he is better against. That said, and the park also plays very, very well. So it's a fine spot for Morton. I don't hate him at SB2, but I do think with all the bats on this slate and not a lot of really cheap bats on this slate, I'm going to be looking more towards Michael Wacha at 6K. Obviously, a little bit of a risk with Wacha. If we just pull up his profile here, his xFIPs have been pretty explosive this year. 4.99 xFIP to righties, 5.18 to lefties. Average K rate, average swinging strike rate. This is the type of pitcher that we usually don't like to target. 40% hard hit to both handedness. However, we're going to pull up these stats versus righties. I thought I had them pulled up right there. I guess I don't. Here we go. Here they are versus righties. The Marlins have just not been good this year against righties. 77 WRC plus, which is well below the average. Marlins striking at a 25% rate. Obviously, Walker's a guy that doesn't have a lot of strikeouts in his repertoire. However, this is a team that strike out plenty, enough that he can easily pay off his 6K price tag in a pitcher's park. I think this is going to play well for Wacha. Hopefully, this is a matchup that can bring those numbers down, his xFIP down a little bit against, look at the bottom of this lineup where you're getting Harold Ramirez, JT Riddle, Alfaro is a decent hitter, Rojas in the pitcher spot. All those, I think, guys where Wacha can maybe get a few Ks in there. I think that, we're looking at 5 strikeouts here, and you get 5 strikeouts, even if he gives up a few runs, he's really going to be easy for him to pay off this 6K price tag. One thing for Wacha that really is important for him in this game is keeping these walks in check. I mean, he has not been able to do that this year. 5.75 walks per 9 to both hands. Something that I think he's really got to keep in check in the future, not only in this game, but just in the future if he's going to get back to his form that he was in 2015, 16, 17. Not that he was great last year, but he's a lot better than he was this year. Or a lot better than he's been this year is what I'm trying to say. I think Galvin makes a little bit of sense too at 6.4K. That's a very, very cheap price for him to pay in a middling matchup against the Pirates. If we pull up their numbers versus righties this year, I believe this is my right-handed tab. Yeah, this is they definitely have a good amount of power versus righties. Try to find them here. 160 ISO, 20.7% K rate. So we're not getting a lot of strikeouts. Below average WRC plus at 95. So this is a much tougher matchup than what Wacha is getting against the Marlins. So a little bit more risk here, and it is a park that the wind's blowing out. It's going to be humid. It's going to be hot. It's already a pretty much more shaded towards a hitter's park. So Gausman's in a much tougher spot without as many K chances in this lineup. But I do think this is a decent price to pay for him at 6.4K. I think you can definitely meet value there. But I do prefer Wacha in this spot. And of course, like I said, Morton is going to be in play. Tanaka is going to be in play. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to play that price tag for Morton at 9.9K, but I do think it's a decent spot. I do think he can get some Ks against this A's team. Okay, that's pretty much going to do it for the pitching spots. And, because, Wacha's in play here at 6K, so clearly the pitching spots are pretty limited on this slate, which means there are going to be a lot of hitter spots on this slate. First one we're going to talk about here is going to be the Rockies at a 5.9 team total against Yu Darvish. Real quick on Darvish, his main pitches are going to be his fastball. He's got a cutter that he throws about 40% of the time. A cutter that this year has not had as much vertical movement on it. This is Brooks Baseball looking at the vertical movement on pitches. Doesn't have as much vertical movement as it has in the past. Last year he's got 4 inches vertical movement on his cutter. This year he's more around 1. But it is a pitcher it is his pitch that still does cut down, and it isn't going to play as well here in this environment at Mile High Stadium. Not Mile High Stadium, but it is still Mile High Stadium in a way. He also throws a sinker a little bit of the time. He also throws his curveball a little bit of the time. Between those two pitches, he's probably got about 20% of his pitches. And of course, he does throw that all 3 of those pitches, sinker, curve, cutter he throws a decent amount, they're not going to play as well here against a team that really can put the ball in the air. Darvish only has a 30% fly ball rate, but at the same time, these fly balls are really getting out of the park. 20% home run per fly ball to righties, 25% home run per fly ball to lefties, which is an alarming rate. 30% hard contact isn't anything to bat an eye at, but it is still enough where I think that you can really target either side of the plate against Darvish. I think this is a really good park. I think this is a great park to target Darvish in, So, any of these guys 1 through 6, I'm interested in. If I was going to rank them, maybe point per dollar, I would probably go with Dahl, Arenado, are my 2 favorite options. Then I'd go Blackman. I think these 2 lefties down here, McMahon has a solid price at 4.2K in this matchup. I think Story is probably my least favorite at that price, almost paying 6K for Story against a righty. Just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Probably going to be a guy only playing GPPs, but still definitely someone who is going to be in play for me. But my favorite are going to be Dahl and Arenado right there. That 3 through 6 stack makes a lot of sense to me against Darvish's pitch mix is just not going to play very well here. Next up is going to be the Nats against Despain here, Odorisimur Despain. I've really hard for me to pronounce that name, but the Nationals coming in with a 5.9 team total. Despain is giving up about, last year, at least in the league, gave up about a 40% hard contact rate to righties, I believe, 37% to righties, 40% to lefties. Vegas is just not expecting Despain to fare well here in this matchup, and the wind is blowing out at 10 miles per hour in Chicago, so I really like this price at Adam Eaton at under 4K. He makes a lot of sense. Trey Turner, probably a very good cash shortstop option at 5K. You're gonna if you go with Walker SB2, you're gonna have plenty of money to spend, and Trey Turner makes some sense at 5K. Can steal some bases as well. Rendon, kind of in a similar story where it's gonna be hard to pay that price in cash against a righty, where his splits versus lefties are much better. But he's still got plenty of power versus righties. Just not a preferred spot to pay. I'd much prefer to just pay for Soto at 5.1K. So those are probably the spots I'm going to target as those first 1 through 4. Adams, guy who strikes out a good amount, but he, this is a good matchup for him, and the White Sox bullpen also is not very good, so definitely a spot I'd target. The last spot I was going to talk about real quick is just going to be the Braves. Musgrove giving up pretty good hard contact, over 35%, and the fly ball rate to righties is over 40% as well. The Braves are very priced up, but Acuna definitely still going to be in play for me, even at a priced up price. The Pirates have not only do they have Musgrove on the mound, who has been beat up a lot this year, he's just not getting strikeouts this year. This park is not going to play very well today when it's hot and the wind's blowing out. And the Pirates have one of the worst, I believe actually they have the worst bullpen on the slate over the last month. So if they can get to Musgrove, they're going to get to the bullpen. I really like this price on Nick Markakis as well. He's probably my favorite value outfielder on the slate, actually. At 3.6K, he's a guy who could turn a single into a double. He could turn a double into a triple, possibly. Really fast, gets around the bases quick. Even if he singles, he can get to second on a steal. Really like these Braves. 5.3 team total makes a lot of sense to me. Lastly, I just think some of these Dodgers make some sense too. Griffin Canning. Let's just transition to the home run calls right now. I think Justin Turner is my favorite home run call, under 4K, 3.9K. Really, really cheap price to pay for Justin Turner, who can add power versus righties as well. He doesn't have as much versus righties, clearly. He doesn't have as much great contact versus righties, but this is a really tough slate to find a guy under 4K that I want to call my home run call. You have Cargo, but he's terrible. For one, he's terrible. But for 2, he's facing German Marquez. It's just in the spot I want to target Cubs in. There's no one under 4K on the Nationals. Markakis is a guy who doesn't have a lot of power, so it's just really tough for me to find a guy under 4K that I think is going to be my home run call. I think G-Man Choi makes a little bit of sense as well. He has the platoon splits today against Anderson, who does give up a lot of hard contact and did not fare well in the minors, so it's going to be between Turner and G-Man Choi for me. I slightly give the lean to Turner here against Griffin Canning, who, although he does get a decent amount of strikeouts, as you can see, 9 per 9 to righties and 10.8 to lefties, he is giving up a 39% hard contact rate to righties and a 49% fly ball rate. So I think those are both going to play well for Turner, who gets a pretty nice park as well in LA, 82% or 82 degrees there as well. It's a warm day. Makes sense for Turner at third base. And then my expensive home run call has got to come from the Rockies. It's going to be between Dahl and Arenado. I'm going to give the slight lean to David Dahl, who does have great power numbers versus righties. These pitchers are not going to play well for Darvish in this park. So Dahl will give me my expensive home run call at 5.3K. But Arenado makes a lot of sense as well. Just so much power, so much good contact on both sides of the plate. Plays great at Coors. Both these guys make some sense, but Dahl is going to be my official home run call for the Rockies. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for me for LocksDFS.com. Be sure to comment and subscribe for a chance to win that free season pass. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at LocksDFS, at ByHardy. I am at ByHardy on Twitter. And be sure to cop a month pass. We really want to help you guys become better players, and we think we can do that if you guys just hit that subscribe button. and getting our chat. Check out our content which you're watching, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another MLB breakdown video. We'll see you guys then. Peace.